This is How to MMORPG. So far in the series, we've gone over quite a lot of information, and we've probably been going a little fast. I was really excited to level, but I did want to cover as many things as I could in the beginning. But what we're going to do with these next couple of episodes is we're going to just have some refreshers. We're just going to kind of go over the information that we've gone over a little bit more and a little more concisely. And we're also probably going to cover some things that I may have missed, or that we may have missed. So in our first episode, our first refresher episode, we're just going to talk about what is an MMORPG. MMORPG stands for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. Now we're not really going to go into what that means. I'm just going to give you a quick description of what an MMORPG is. Maybe not so much quick, but we're gonna try. That kind of represents what an MMORPG is right there. I'm just kidding, but a little bit for sure. Basically, what an MMORPG or MMORPG game is it's just a huge world. Let's get back to that Christmas music because that was really chill. It's a huge game world where lots and lots of people play at the same time. So right now I'm on a PS4, playing, logged into the server that my character's on, and I'm running around by myself. But hey, here's this guy. Oops. Now that's another player there. He's running around doing the same thing. Let's see if we've got any more. There's another one there. Those two dudes we saw down here. Or this guy here, the paladin. There's one there. Or is that an astrologian? That's an astrologian. Anyways, that's a player there. These two dudes are players here. So pretty much what it is it's a role-playing game in which you'll play with lots of different people, multiple people all at the same time. But what an MMORPG is a little more difficult to explain. Any game type can be massively multiplayer, and they've done that with a couple different types of games. I know Destiny is kind of an MMO, where there's it's a shooter, but there's a lot of people playing at the same time that you can connect with, and so it is here in Final Fantasy XIV or in any MMORPG. It's an RPG game where you can play with lots of different people and connect with them. But whereas in Destiny, the focus may be a little different, or the way that things work may be a little different, or the mechanics may be a little different. So here in an MMORPG or in Final Fantasy XIV, it's a little bit different. So what are you going to be doing in an MMORPG? Well, you're definitely going to be playing with lots of people. The focus of MMORPGs are kind of twofold. The focus is to level your character and grow your character and gain abilities and get better gear, things like that, and just pretty much basically progress your character as far as you can go, as far as the game allows. That's really individualistic. But the second fold, or the second side of it, is teamwork, working with others, completing things together, and really, being able to communicate, and knowing your responsibilities and taking pride, or taking pride in them. You know what I mean? I guess to a degree is kind of the best way to describe it. Or not really, maybe not the best way, but definitely the easiest way. Lawful. So yeah, if you're looking into playing MMORPGs and you're not sure exactly what you're going to be doing, or you're not really one to you like that single player experience, but you've been interested in MMORPGs, there is going to be a lot of working together. There's going to be a lot of communication. You're going to run into some people who may not be so nice. You're going to run into some people who may be nice. You're going to run into people who are kind of in the middle, and it's pretty much the same as with anything. Currently on most servers, there are going to be over 100,000 registered characters, and that doesn't necessarily mean 100,000 players as far as Final Fantasy XIV is concerned anyways. That doesn't mean 100,000 players, but it does mean that there are over 100,000 registered characters. I myself currently have 3 characters. 2 of them are mine, so even if we were to cut that number in half and just say that on average every person has, or every player has 2 characters, that's still 50,000 people, or 50,000 people on a server. So there's going to be lots of people. But that's really the gist of it. You're going to be exploring different lands, a lot of exploration. There's a lot of things to do in MMORPGs, a lot of different activities to participate in. You've got, just your solo leveling, which is just running around and doing quests and things like that. You've got dungeons, which you'll participate in with other players. You've got raids, which you'll participate in with more players. For an example, Final Fantasy XIV has 2 different types of raids. They have 8-man raids, which is for 8 players, and then there are 24-man raids. They also have, you'll also usually be able to get involved in some kind of PvP if you want to, which is pretty cool. I personally dig PvP generally. There's generally crafting, so things outside of combat that you can get into. Final Fantasy XIV has an insane crafting system that is really, really good, and so much so that there are people who play this game just to craft. There are multiple crafting classes. You level each crafting class, and really in order to be the best crafter that you can be in the game, you're going to want to level, I think, all the crafting classes to their maximum level, so that you can use abilities from one crafting class on another. So perhaps there's an ability that carpenters get that would really benefit you as a leather worker, or may really benefit you as a blacksmith, or vice versa. And that's just the thing that's pretty unique to Final Fantasy XIV. But there's generally going to be some kind of crafting system, and you'll sell your crafts to other players on the market board, so there's a little bit of economics in there, which you wouldn't think you would find in a video game, you know what I mean? But there is. So knowing when to sell and what to price things at and things like that. And then there's just goofy side quests that don't really give you any benefit other than maybe experience or some cosmetic items, like for instance, right now it's getting close to Christmas, and Final Fantasy XIV developers have set in a Christmas event, which you can participate in. So far I haven't done it yet, but we could, if we wanted to, well, which we can't on this character, but we could buy a Santa cap. Sig, put your clothes on. We could buy a Santa cap, which will make us look, give us a little Santa cat, a little beard, and this is something that, the hat itself doesn't have any stats or anything like that, but it's just something that's fun, you know what I mean? So these are quests that you might get a little bit of experience for, little events and things like that. There's generally, for most major holidays, there's gonna be something like that in just about any MMO. Another thing about MMORPGs is that the game is constantly progressing. Generally, you have the developers are going to be delivering content pretty regularly. Most of the time, the large content like new maps or new areas, new classes, new races, those are going to come out in expansions, which are just additions or add-ons to the game, and you're going to pay for those for sure. I know that Final Fantasy XIV just dropped Heaven's Ward not that long ago. I can't remember how much it cost. I want to say it was like 40, but it may have been 60. I don't remember. But it introduced an entirely new area, an entirely new main scenario, storyline, well, a continuation to the main storyline, and 3 new classes, and flying mounts, a lot of different things. But also throughout time, the developers are going to be dropping content or delivering content through patches. So I know that actually the first patch in Heaven's Ward just dropped here, patch 3.1, and I think patch 3.5 just dropped too. And those just can add anything. They did actually add a class in a patch in A Realm Reborn, the game before the expansion, which was Ninja. They also, here though, they've added, generally they're going to add new main story quests in Final Fantasy XIV, but they've also added the Anima relic, or the relic quest for Heaven's Ward. In Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, there was a quest line that allowed you to get a weapon that continued to kind of evolve with you and grow with you. With just about every patch, there was a new step to make the weapon that much better, to increase its capabilities. And they've started that with Heaven's Ward. So you're going to get those, and those are free. And you'll just, you'll log in, and the game will let you know, hey, there's a patch we got to download real quick. It'll download it for you and install it and everything. And you just log in, and you log in and you play, and you get ready to go. Which brings us to our next topic, and probably our last topic. How to know what to do. You know what I mean, for the most part. Well, there's plenty of videos out there as far as any kind of advice on any questions that you're going to have, definitely for specific games. So for Final Fantasy XIV, you have videos like this, like this series will be, and you're going to have tons of other ones. And for World of Warcraft, for Guild Wars 2, whatever you want to play, there's going to be people out there making content for it. But also, it's when you decide and you pick which game you want to play, it's a great idea to keep up with the news of the game. So generally, you can do that through going to the website for the game, the company's website, and they're gonna put patch notes up there, and any changes that they make to the game, they're gonna let you know, and they're gonna let you know in pretty decent detail, and pretty really good detail actually, what kind of changes they made, and if they added a new quest, where to pick that quest up, if they added a new class, how to start, how to get that class and start leveling it. And the patch notes sometimes can be pretty lengthy, but it's always good to keep up with that. Just keep up with the news in the game. Another way to do that is through podcasts. I know that Final Fantasy XIV has 2 or 3 podcasts, I guess 3 podcasts that you can listen to, and they will. They're gonna, anytime a patch drops, they're gonna talk about it. They're gonna go over the patch notes and things like that. And for Final Fantasy XIV, those podcasts are Aetherite Radio, which is from Gamerscape, and they also have another one called Sequence Break 14. And then there's Limit Break Radio. We currently are on Sargentanis, the server Sargentanis, which is the home of Limit Break Radio, which is kind of why I chose it, because what those guys will do is whenever they record a podcast episode, or episode for the podcast, they actually were going to do it live, so they'll do it through Twitch, but they also set up a little studio area in the game that you can run, that you can go to and sit down, and sit and watch the stream and actually be a part of the stream, which I think is just really amazing. It's a really cool idea, a really cool thing. And not every podcast is going to be for everybody, because everybody's different and everybody has different personalities. So finding a podcast that you like, depending on what game you're playing, there may be some variety. And I know for World of Warcraft, there's the Instance, which I actually listen to because I used to play WoW. Even though I haven't played in years, it's still nice to, kind of keep up with what's going on in the game and where the players are and how they feel. And so you're going to get a lot of that, but that's definitely a good idea. because I know like when you know, they'll drop a patch and there'll be a new dungeon, and you log in and there's not going to really be anything that says, hey, you know, to access the new dungeon, the quest is over here. You're going to have to go to the patch notes, and they'll go, hey, we added Hullbreaker Isle, and in order to unlock Hullbreaker Isle, you have to have progressed this far in the story, or you have to at least completed X quest, and the quest to unlock it is right here, you know, and they'll say it's in this city, and you got to talk to this guy here. And you just go and you do that. So it lets you know, you know what to do, and they want you to know. So that's pretty much it. MMORPGs are just huge worlds in which a lot of people play. Now, the RPG aspect is definitely very specific, and each game is going to be different. It's going to have different mechanics. There are going to be different ways that you attack, different ways that attacking works, different everything. So each game has its own flavor. So even if you try an MMORPG and you don't like it, that doesn't mean you don't like MMORPGs. You may just not like that MMORPG in particular if you don't like the game itself, just, you know, the way that the game works. Now, if you don't like, you know, partying up with people and waiting on queue times and things like that, then yeah, MMORPGs may not be for you for sure. And that's okay, you know. But if it's just that you don't like the way that the game works, you know, it's not a bad idea to, somebody's not feeling well. Ooh, can we catch him? No. Oh man, we're gonna try and give him a little pick me up, but we didn't have time. But yeah, you know, it's not a bad idea to try, you know, maybe another one if you want to, and it's definitely good to play with friends. For sure. Now, you're probably going to make friends. People in MMORPGs are generally very friendly and very welcoming. But if you have people already that play a game, it's not a bad idea to play. You know, try and play with them. It's definitely good because you'll have people who know what's going on and things like that, and you'll be able to just jump right in, and they'll be able to help you out. But that's really it. You know. Playing with lots of people, connecting with lots of people, teamwork, working together, having fun, you know, just goofing around, you know what I mean? I do that all the time, you know. I was supposed to be questing or something like that, or working on my relic weapon or whatever, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to run around the city over here and, you know, just kind of goof off and, you know, take a breather, just have some fun, you know. So that's about it. Well, that's it. There's really nothing much else to it. It's just, in general, it's just like any other game. It's just figuring out how to play it. That's really it. So that's it. That's how to MMORPG refresher 1. What is an MMORPG? And that's what they are. And you know, it's going to be different for everybody. You're going to have a different experience, and you're going to have different focuses. You know, and you're going to run into people who do as well. You're going to run into casual people. You're going to run into hardcore people, and you're going to run into, you know, mid-core people, whatever you want to call them. You know, hardcore casuals, whatever. You know, and so that's kind of the fun of it. You know, and there's going to be plenty of people to meet, and plenty of people who, you know, share your game style. So that's it. Let's cut this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy your Christmas holiday. I know I am, and we will talk to you later. Say goodbye, Sig. Bye, Sig.